Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Monday, August 10th, 2026. This is a very condensed version of my podcast. You can find the full version by going to that QR code and it will take you to the full version of the podcast, or you can go and click on the links below. This is on Todd Blanche Confirmed. The implications that will happen to the left, the swamp, the past presidents. Many of the referrals are already taken over to the Attorney General's office and that have been collecting dust. So the implications that will occur. Now, remember, Todd Blanche, in the full podcast, I discussed this a little bit more. Todd Blanche was President Trump's attorney for a couple of cases. So he knows the inner workings of how they work. And then Todd Blanche's background is going to be very helpful in all different elements, whether it's taking down dirty cops, top brass cops, that is, like the Alvin Bragg, Jack Smith, and others, along with, he's very familiar with Wall Street as well. So with the new things coming in, now we've got, I mentioned some things in my other podcasts and I tied it into a bow with this one. The new banking system coming into play. This absolutely discusses the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act did get postponed to a later date. It's been postponed over and over again, and President Trump is steps ahead. So how he uses rulings and or executive orders in an effort to beat the system and using his Trump card. A lot of events had occurred ever since those executive orders that President Trump signed on May 19th of 2026, how they are effective and they have deadlines. So I kind of covered that. What's going to happen? What are some of the different comms coming for deadlines? Employers getting arrested. That was part of the executive orders that President Trump had, that he signed on May 19th of 2026. Again, taking down these illegals, making sure that there's no corruption, making sure employers are also held accountable. But this is an employer that's also a big name employer, which is Amazon. Now we also have the schedule coming up for pretty much the majority of our Congress, not all, but the majority of our Congress. They're kind of a do-nothing Congress. So Senate only has 35 working days left when they return from their recess. So let's see what they do. But we're going to see a lot of activity happening. Now we have the Minnesota primaries happening tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. If for some reason bad people do get elected in the primaries or they get selected in the primaries, they may lose the general or they may have to face the justice with the new Congress. And I talk a little bit more about that. It ties in with the 14th Amendment sections 3 to 5 and how it comes into play and how Congress will be pivotal in the action taken on those that have aided or are enemies. And then also those that have engaged in insurrection or rebellion. So how the new Congress will be pivotal in that. SCOTUS made a ruling about birthright citizenship. They cited the 14th Amendment. Let me toggle up, excuse me. That's why I'm talking about the 14th Amendment, how that's coming into play. However, because they ruled against President Trump's stance on the birthright citizenship, Trump made a powerful move that just pretty much slaps them in the face and says, I don't think so. Not going to happen. So he does have his traps already set. Earlier this year, there were conversations going out by the White House accounts and other types of government accounts about Trump being the beekeeper. I want to bring this up again because scammer networks are being taken down, not just here in this country, but they're worldwide. The scammer networks hire trafficked workers as well. Kash Patel is working with other nations in order to take down scamming operations, take down fraudsters, and also those that are fleeing this country, trying to escape their crimes here in America. He's working with other nations to make sure that they can't get away with it in those other nations, and those nations are extraditing the bad guys here. So President Trump, in essence, is the beekeeper, but are we following the timeline of this movie plot? Because in this movie, The Beekeeper, without it giving you any spoilers, he does take down a very big scamming operation, and then in the movie The Beekeeper goes out there and finds out who is actually behind, who's pulling the strings and funding these scam organizations, these fraud organizations, and how it even funded the campaigns. President Trump is protecting you, the people, those that are working so hard to support your family, put food on the table. But President Trump has to follow the blueprint. He can't put the roof on before he puts the foundation. Many of you know that, but many of us want to see that roof on right away, right? We want to see the whole thing all stuccoed, or we want to see it all with the siding on the walls. He has to do the foundation, has to do it right the first time around. President Trump, he does want us to see us thrive. He does need military strategy in order to do it, and he needed you as the warriors to back him up. There are Q posts that relate to a lot of what's going on right now, and then on top of all of that, and I tie it all into the full podcast, but there is no step 5, and that would be the end. One of the deltas led to November 19th. There is no step 5. In the full podcast, it ties into that. Then Elon Musk posted this video, a very powerful video by Johnny_M_Q, and it has Q. It has the letter Q, Q Ascension, Q Quantum, and is Elon Musk affirming the Q post and the Anons putting stuff out there, because Johnny is a diehard Anon. So as we get ourselves ready to prepare ourselves to party, we might be also experiencing symptoms of ascension, because your heart, you're like, I'm tired, Santa, I'm tired of fighting, I'm tired, we'd love to be able to see some of the rewards. They'll come. It's just that we are ready to blossom. We're ready to get out of that matrix of this dark world that we've been living in, that we're seeing all of it now, and we're ready to start thriving and really getting ourselves to heal. So to make sure that we continue to keep our relationship with God, and at the same time, God would want us to go ahead and celebrate, because that would be faith. So to celebrate and just to keep our sights on joy, laughter, and faith. Enjoy the full podcast. The link is either above or below, or you can go ahead and scan that QR code to get there as well. God bless you abundantly. Have yourselves a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, and I'll have another show very soon. Aloha.